Hello, viewers, and welcome to Healthy Wrinkles, a channel devoted for the healthcare of elderly citizens. Today, we have an opportunity to meet Dr. Arvind Kumar Maurya. Dr. Arvind Kumar Maurya is professor and head of cataract, glaucoma, refractive surgeries, squint, medical retina services. So, entire gamut of ophthalmology services. Dr. Maurya is head and a professor at AIMS, Hyderabad, which is a very prestigious institute. Dr. Maurya has several awards to his credit, national as well as international awards, and it's a very long list. He has also presented more than 300 international and more than 50 national presentations and publications. Also, he has received several awards for his research work, for his presentations and publications. So welcome, Dr. Maurya, on Healthy Wrinkles channel.
Thank you, Healthy Wrinkle, for giving me this opportunity.
So, doctor, today we are going to spend time on issues related to the glaucoma.
Sure.
And my questions and my conversation is going to be in that space. So, doctor, can you explain from a layman's perspective what is glaucoma and really what happens to the vision due to glaucoma, and what are the common signs and symptoms one would experience because of glaucoma?
You see, glaucoma is a group of eye disease that leads to progressive loss of optic nerve functioning. So there is rise in the intraocular pressure that causes damages to the optic nerve. And as we all know, that optic nerve is responsible for vision. Okay, so it causes a damage at that part where this nerve needs to carry the information to the brain regarding the vision. So this is glaucoma in a layman's language. Although there are a lot of complicated definitions, but this is the simplest way I can put regarding glaucoma.
And what would be, doctor, common signs and symptoms what patient would experience?
Yeah, most of the time it is open angle glaucoma. So unfortunately, there are no sign or symptom until unless more than 50% of the eye has been damaged or the visual function has been damaged. So only that time we are able to assess that the patient has glaucoma. So it is also known as silent thief of sight. So the other the sign and symptoms are like the headache, eye ache, nausea and vomiting, then the patchy or the blind spots or the blurry vision in the peripheral visual field of vision, and that progresses towards our central visual field. And also blurred vision also can be sign symptom, along with the halos around light, and the eye sometimes becomes congested and redness and watering will be there. So these are the common sign and symptoms. Also frequent change of presbyopic glasses will also be there.
Okay. So, given the nature of this disease and the signs and symptoms, doctor, so from elderly person's perspective, maybe 50 plus or 60 plus age group, what kind of sort of a preventive measure do you recommend? I mean, do you recommend regular sort of examination of the eyes, or what is that you recommend, doctor?
But you are talking about age, so it is more common after 40 years of age group, and it becomes more common after 60 years of age group. And the other risk factors other than the age are the high intraocular pressure in the eye, being Afro-American, Asian, because they have small eyes, so they are more prone to congestive glaucoma, or the Hispanic eyes. Also, the family history of glaucoma, they are more prone to these glaucoma. And the comorbidities like the diabetes mellitus, hypertension, sickle cell anemia, and the chronic smokers, high myopes, and the patients having thin corneas, and the patient who have some ocular injuries. And the ocular injury leads to a type of secondary glaucoma known as angle recession glaucoma. And also the long-term use of the quacks are giving a lot of steroid. You go for any eye ailment, they will start prescribing the steroids. So the long-term use of steroids, that also leads to steroid responding glaucoma.
So doctor, what you recommend? Should it be like, once in a year, one should get the eyes examined after certain age, or if you have only risk factors, as you mentioned?
For my side, every newborn needs to be examined by an ophthalmologist, and it should be a multidisciplinary approach, like the pediatrician, the ENT specialist, the geriatric specialist, the physician, the endocrinologist, because they have a lot of patients of every age group complaining of decrease in vision. So they need to refer those patients to an ophthalmologist, and where they can be examined by doing the simple tests like the tonometry. Tonometry means measurement of the intraocular pressure of the eyes. Then the fundus examination. It means the anterior and posterior segment evaluation of the eye with the help of direct and indirect ophthalmoscope. So there are a lot of changes in the angles, in the anterior chamber and in the optic disc. So there are a lot of changes. There are signs that indicates toward the progression or presence of glaucoma. So by doing all these simple tests, we can conclude that whether the patient has glaucoma or not.
So I think one important point, doctor, you have mentioned is that they're all simple tests, and probably in a normal clinical setup, ophthalmologist can detect.
Yeah, every basic setup
they're
has
all
already.
non-invasive. It looks like so. So if patients need not get worried about whether there is going to be any
So
invasive
all these
procedure.
tests are non-invasive. Yeah.
Right. So, doctor, once it is detected that the person is suffering from glaucoma, what generally is the sort of line of treatment that you adopt as ophthalmologist?
You see, line of treatment is always customized because it depends on a lot of factors like the age of the patient. Because in every age group, you can't give every kind of anti-glaucoma medication. First is the age of the patient, and the level of the intraocular pressure. Because right now, the only modifiable factor in glaucoma is the intraocular pressure. There is no other drugs or no permanent cure for the this disease, unfortunately. Although we are doing a lot of research regarding the genetic therapy and the stem cell therapy, but still, the only modifiable factor right now all over the world is only the intraocular pressure. So we have a lot of treatment in form of the topical medication, in which the first line of management is the prostaglandin analogs, then the beta blockers, then the vasoprotective drugs, which are the carbonic anhydrase inhibitors like dorzolamide and brinzolamide, and then we have neuroprotective drugs like the brimonidine. So we have different groups of these oral medication. Then we have the systemic also in form of oral. Oral we can give tablet acetazolamide, that is again a carbonic anhydrase inhibitor, but it has a lot of side effects, so it can't be given more than 7 days of duration. Then we have oral glycerol, and then we have IV mannitol, and this IV Lasix can also be given to decrease the intraocular pressure. So it's a customized approach. It
Yeah,
also
but largely,
depends on,
doctor, what you have mentioned, these are all medicine-driven intervention, whether oral or whether topical.
yeah.
Surgical options, or are they available, or there are no surgical options?
No, there are a lot of surgical options available. That again depends on the age of the patient. In the congenital ophthalmos patient, we do goniotomy. Okay, and if that fails, then we go to trabectomy or the trabeculectomy. Then the trabeculectomy is an artificial. We are creating a drainage system, artificial drainage system. Okay, from the anterior chamber of the eye into the subconjunctival space. So it's a very complicated surgery. So it can be done with or without implants. So we put the drainage devices like the Ahmed walls, or sometimes the Ologen implants are also given. Ologen implants are biodegradable implant that are placed over the scleral flap of the trabeculectomy. And also laser treatment is also available there. So in the initial stage, if the angle is started to close, so in the prophylactically, we can give this ND-YAG laser, iridotomy can be done. Okay. Then we have selective laser trabeculoplasty also.
Doctor, medication followed by maybe laser option followed by surgery is generally the stepwise approach. Probably you will follow. Of course, depends upon the age and other factors, as you mentioned.
Like patient compliance. If the patient is unable to put the eye drops, 3 or 4 eye drops, then there is no use of waiting that the patient can't we go for surgery? We will, we need to take him for surgery. Everyone can't afford. In India, the villagers, and there are a lot of, there are every kind of society. So they can't afford these medication for a longer time. So we need to opt for surgery in those cases.
So it's a very individualistic choice, as you said, doctor.
Yeah, it should be a customized approach only.
So I thank you, doctor, for coming on the Healthy Wrinkles channel.
Thank you. Thank you
for insights and information that you have shared. And I'm sure our viewers will find it very relevant. Thank you, doctor, once again.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't let glaucoma darken your life. Get your checkups regularly and keep your eyes healthy. This is my message to all of you. Love you all. Jai Hind. Namaskar.